Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the pod. Today, we're going to be talking about the first half of the reunion for this season of the challenge.
hmm
I am Maddie. That is Mariama. How are you doing, friend?
I'm great, Maddie. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Nice.
Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and check out our other playlists with other things, including this season of The Traitors, which we are watching, and then last season of Love is Blind, and then upcoming this season of Love is Blind too.
True.
We're only a few weeks away.
Go ahead and start us off.
Okay, so this reunion was not this is my first challenge reunion, as I guess everyone can figure out by now. Not everyone was there, which I was
hmm
like kind of surprised
I
about.
I was
I
actually
don't
gonna mention the one that I really noticed was Horacio and and
Nerese?
Nerys.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if they'll be on part two. Maybe they're gonna bring some more people out because there were so many people on the cast, but it's not. It's very rare that we don't have everybody from the cast on the reunion
That
show.
was going to be my question for you, is if this is
I,
normal
I
when
guess
it.
it's more frequent recently because we do have so many international players that can't always like come from
Mm,
overseas. So
hmm
a lot of them will call in or like they just won't show at all because they'll have other engagements like because they're all like full-time reality television stars here and
Yeah.
abroad.
Yeah.
So they'll have like other reality TV show commitments back home. But
Yeah.
yeah,
That makes sense.
it was very light on the stage.
It was. It truly was. And then we get Cory calling in from or virtually. And then in the preview for the next half of the reunion, I know we get Tony.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, oh my gosh. Other than that, we are missing quite a few people, but we seem to be getting to the heart of a lot of, I don't know how else to say this. I feel like
we're
we
we're
low key
we're
do
hitting the
have the
notes. It was I will say it wasn't a bad reunion. Like these
yeah.
things we tend to get like this is why I just feel like we could have extended this by maybe 15 minutes and cut out that whole part two because I think part two is where we're gonna be like, what are we talking about here?
Especially when Tony shows up, yes. Yeah. I feel like it, at least to me, were at least always talking about something that like actually really mattered to the
Mm-hmm.
season.
Mm-hmm.
Um and it sounds kind of mean, but I feel like the rest of the people that were not, almost the rest of all of the people, the rest, oh, let's
That
try that
weren't
whole thing
here.
again.
Yeah,
Thank
they didn't
you.
matter. Yeah.
Yeah, which seems kind of mean, but yeah. And then everyone was sitting by eras again.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, well, do you have a favorite part of the reunion, or are we going chronologically?
I don't know that I have a favorite part. I know we do start with just recapping the season and the finale, the end of the season. Interesting
Question for
enough.
you. How many women won the season?
There's I do remember a
Hmm.
very swole young lady from the United Kingdom somewhere. I cannot
Mhm.
recall if there were even other women on the show, to be honest. I'm fairly
Very
certain that
strange.
she
All of the women did leave the show very promptly at the beginning of the finale.
yeah.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
we have a man who won.
Congratulations, Jennifer West.
Oh, is that her full name?
Yeah.
Oh, good for her. And then we have Jordan, who was wearing, I couldn't tell if I hated the suit or if I hated the boots with the
I
suit.
hated the boots.
Yeah.
I hated the boots.
Mm-hmm.
I quite liked the suit. I thought Kylan looked really well. Bananas
Mm-hmm.
looked really well. Bananas has been kind of crushing the reunion looks for a few seasons now. So
I feel like everyone looked so beautiful. Also, Nehemiah, what was
I don't know
happening?
what was going on with that man. At first, I was like, why would they even include this? They could have just edited around it. And then when I realized it was like an ongoing thing, I was like, this is why they included it.
Yeah, like,
I don't
and
know what's going on. He said he had a stomach bug. Huh? He'd be all
I
right.
get maybe he had the norovirus. I was like, okay. And then when they included him throwing up, I was like, we don't.
Yeah, that was too much. There was too much of that going on.
We
Honestly,
really didn't need that.
the
No.
image, the sound, none of it was necessary. Show
And
him
did he
walking
get a
on stage
chance
and
to
that's
brush
it.
his teeth before coming back out?
I don't know what he did. I don't even really care if he did. He didn't talk to nobody. He ain't talk to me. I can't smell it. Um,
Completely fair. Oh, we forgot. And well, I mean, I guess we should mention that Maria Menounos is
host finale
our
or
host, our
reunion host.
proctor.
Yeah.
Yes. Is she normally the host?
She's done a few. We kind of cycle between her, Victor Cruz, Nessa, and a few other people.
Victor Cruz, the
The football player.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Good for him. What else? I mean,
I
I feel
mean, I
like
think the first thing we get into was we Miss Tina.
oh, Messina, who I love the suits
Yes.
or the suit.
Might be
The
best dressed, honestly.
fantastic. The faith she had in whatever undergarment she was wearing. Amazing, amazing. Drop the deets, Tina, because I was concerned at all times.
She looked good. She looked really, really good.
And
Michelle
she's
honestly looked
so
good too.
exciting. I missed
Um,
her.
she was doing a little too much.
Oh,
Tina was trying to take that 15 minutes, which is honestly already at 15:01. She was trying to bring it to the 16-minute mark.
oh, wow.
It was
Okay.
it was a bit much. Like,
That's who I miss. CT.
yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's surprising that he's not here for sure. But he
yeah.
is a father now. Maybe he has responsibilities.
He has responsibilities, which is ironic because Cory was definitely yapping.
Um no. I want to talk about uh Tina
Yes.
versus
Oops.
Naya
Partner?
and Jordan. Does this happen at the beginning? No, this doesn't happen for a little bit. Uh,
No, it doesn't happen for a little bit. What did we first get from Tina though? Because she's hooting and hollering
her
right at the
talking
beginning.
about Rachel and she's just commenting on everything, which isn't like bad.
Yeah.
I do like actually what I really do want to like talk about. I really do want to talk about the finale, especially like hearing from Michelle at the top of the show.
Oh,
It
yeah.
really, it honestly like it still pisses me off to think about, and like the fact that someone was talking about Michelle Laurel I thought made like a really good comment on Michelle, like, hey, just think about the progress that you've made from your first season to now, and how like how formidable you looked in that final.
Yeah.
And any other time than this one, you're number two and you have 75K, which is why
Yeah.
Rachel should never stop being a villain. And
Oh.
Rachel, please don't come back. Go home and take tend to your children, my sister.
Oh. We okay.
You this was a robbery. This was a robbery.
Well,
You already got everything. Have we not given you enough, Rachel? We've given you a 20-year long reality television career. You got
Kate.
your own freaking like Billy Blanks tape now, your whole workout videos. We've given you so much. You're a fitness influencer because of us. And we've given you 237,500 that you did not earn. Go ahead and leave us alone now. I'm done.
I mean that's fair. And maybe she will leave us alone now because she got a lot of money and she won sort of won the biggest season of them all. Maybe she'll go back to just tending to her children and being a happy lesbian in peace.
Yeah, we can only hope. Derek, that's the other little spotlight that we
Oh, I
got.
love Derek's hair.
Yeah, looked very good. I love his shirt. I loved
It
his
looks
little look.
beautiful. Yeah.
He was very casual though. He didn't really bring out a look for us, but he
No, I
looked
mean
good.
the platinum blonde is hard enough to maintain. I don't blame him.
And then Tori, most overrated challenger, which is what they've been calling her for a while now, but
I just
who
felt
knew they
bad
were
because
correct? I just hate Tori because I just think she's got so many relationships now. It's really hard to like watch her on the show because she's never gonna face she like from now on in her challenge career, she's never really gonna face any
like
what's the word?
adversity.
Yeah, adversity.
No, that's
Yeah, like
fair. That's fair.
and I don't particularly enjoy watching that sort of like gameplay.
Yeah.
Um and I think she's so beloved by the production team and the casting that like she's gonna be dominant in the edit regardless of what she's doing, no matter how boring she is. Like they're gonna make sure to include six
Never
confessionals from
boring.
her
Yeah.
every episode, and it's just I don't care. But maybe they were right about calling her overrated.
I mean, the coin count. Oh my God.
Mm,
I had forgotten promptly about the coin count, obviously. And for them to bring it up again, I was like, Miss Diva, Miss Queen, why were you so off? Like truly, how were you off by almost 1,000 coins? I still don't
mm.
understand. And we didn't even get an explanation either.
Okay.
Yes.
Um. Next thing we get a little cameo from the devil herself.
She looked good
She
though.
looked great.
She looked fantastic. I loved it. I love a high latex cut. Like
She
that
looked
is
great. Amanda is
wonderful.
quickly becoming one of my favorites on this
Me
show, and I
too.
wouldn't have like said that a while ago, but like
Yes.
every time I've seen her, I think like since Vendettas, like every season, like she just plays it so well. I love that she knows what the audience wants from her, and she just gives it
And she
every
gives
time.
it. Exactly. She's doing excellent
And it
work,
seems
truly.
authentic. It's not performative. It's not like overly
No.
it's not over the top at all. I really like it. But what do you think about what Amanda had to share with us?
I loved her outfit. I loved that they gave her her own little red seat in the corner. And then she almost immediately kind of like takes it to Michelle and Devin in that whole kind of like situation.
Mm-hmm.
And then she also has to dust up with Cory when they bring Cory up on not the teleprompter. What?
The video, the
Thank
screen.
you. But yeah, she does not see it for Devin. She does not see it for Michelle. Kind of echoing like Johnny's Banana's concerns about like the authenticity of their relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and which Michelle was like, Amanda hates me. Like, I know Amanda hates me. Like, it is what it is at this point in time. And
Cory. I want to talk about
yes,
Cory.
Cory showing up virtually from a Hilton hotel somewhere in the world.
Yes,
Um,
yes, yes, yes. Cory
and go ahead.
Cory pops in and immediately starts rebuking Amanda.
I I screamed. I did. I literally was like, "You are so unserious. I cannot." He crossed himself incorrectly, and I was laughing so hard. But yeah, he gets into it, Amanda, because of their. This is early on in the season,
Yeah,
obviously.
so I mean, she goes in first,
Yeah,
and I was really sad about that because she went home first,
yeah,
and we didn't get to see much of her on the season. But basically, it came down to Cory and Tori, I think, that had the decision. Well, no, no, no. They took a vote, and Cory didn't want to push up against the rest of the era in order to
mhm,
save her, and essentially let her go in and let her go home.
yeah,
In instead of Naya because Naya didn't want to go against Avery.
yes.
And Naya had given him a word. And then this is where we learn something very key, very crucial about Cory for any future challengers out there. You must check in daily with Cory if you guys strike a deal.
That made me giggle and laugh. Honestly, and you can obviously cut this, but it made me giggle and laugh because of the situation on the traders,
Mm-hmm.
with the shield and whoever it was, Boston Rob or somebody was like, "You didn't check in with me," and I was like, "What? What? Since when are we doing all of these fucking check-ins?" And so I was giggling and laughing. But who asked? Was it Michelle? Somebody asked like how long should we actually know for the future we have to check in with you? um
Aviv.
Aviv, yes.
Aviv's best moment, honestly.
I do believe it is one of Aviv's only moments.
Aviv had a few moments, but this was her
Yes.
best one because it really was like
And
incredible.
honestly, relevant,
And
actually relevant information.
the funniest part is that like Amanda's like perception of the situation was corroborated by other people on stage being like, yeah, I played with Cory too, and he also betrayed me because I didn't check in. And I thought that was like really funny.
I thought that was hilarious. And Cory was like, yeah, every day you gotta check in with me every moment of every day. And I was like, honestly, fair.
Now,
Give
I
me
will
the
say
chances.
Josh made an interesting comment, which I'm inclined to believe, where Josh said, specifically between that little dust up that he had with Cory and there's his so-called betrayal. And his comment was that like, hey, Cory expects to like sleep all day and then like pop up an hour before eliminations and go, "You got me right." For someone who requires so frequent check-ins, why aren't you checking in with your allies?
Why are you literally asleep?
Yeah, like
Literally asleep.
seriously, what's going on in
Yeah.
their corns? No, I thought that was like very very interesting. I think it's great advice because it's what I always say. Don't wait until people are sitting down to vote to start politicking. You got to
Yeah, that's fair.
politic days before
Yes. Yes. So by his own rules
by
or
his
by his
own.
own expectations, he's
Yeah,
not doing what he would do, or
yeah,
he's not doing what he wants other people to do for him,
yes,
which is
correct.
fair and valid, and part of the reason why he goes home.
Yeah, he go home because he couldn't solve a puzzle, and that's more embarrassing actually.
And here I was trying to give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. Is he a teen mom? He's no.
He's dating two teen moms, or has dated two teen moms.
Oh,
His
okay.
baby mama was on Teen Mom, although she was not a teen.
Oh,
I think MTV just likes him. They've just been putting him on anything they can get him on since they got a hold of him. Um,
oh, that makes sense.
this is where we get into the Tina versus Naya and Jordan. Any thoughts here?
I mean, I
I thought
granted,
Tina
I
had real
go ahead.
tea for us when she started by going in on Jordan. She called him an asshole and a jerk, and she said she hated the way that he was manipulative and played the game. I thought she had real tea. She was just hurt because they sent her in.
Which she does literally say herself. So I like immediately deflated. I was just kind of concerned that because Naya tells us that like Tina's been in her phone on Twitter, like yapping about this. And I was like, why are we so
that's the
upset
least.
about
That's the
this?
least surprising thing I heard. That's so Tina. Like,
And that was going to be my question for you is this Tina behavior? And so therefore I retract my statement for the judge
that's so
because I was
Tina.
like, girl, why are we still talking about
I
this?
can imagine Tina just like texting Naya like once every 2 days just to be like, and to think I love you, just something crazy, fake bitch, like just out of the blue, just randomly, like on a Tuesday, every time she thinks about it, just let me send this text off real quick.
Honestly, vibe. Like that is the definition of keeping the same energy on in front of the camera and off of the camera. Because I honestly, Banana says this at some point that like he very much treats this like a day job, and like when he's not doing it, he's not thinking about it or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or he's not holding like grudges between seasons and stuff like that. And that would be me. I would be like, oh, like we are done with that. But I love that Tina was like, no, on the camera, off the camera. I am upset with you and we're gonna talk
I
about
don't
it.
even think she's really upset. I think she's just like, I'm not gonna let it go because I don't have to
Yeah.
let it go.
But Naya does
Um,
seem genuinely annoyed.
yeah, and I like, you know who I really hated was Ryan chiming in and being like, she cried about it. Girl, shut up. Ain't
Oh,
nobody
he does say
talking to
that.
you. Like, and take
Yeah.
those contacts out. Um, would you like to talk about love now?
Sure. We can talk about love now.
Well,
Who are we starting with?
Theo and Olivia. Theo cried on the way back from Bali. Was it Bali?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
on the taxi ride
Um,
to the airport.
a 2 hour taxi ride to
He's
the
so
airport.
in love with Olivia.
Yeah, who got a tattoo of his name behind
And
her
that's what I was gonna
ear.
say. It's not a problem that she got a tattoo. It's a problem that he doesn't have one.
And to quote Bob the drag queen, you actually he misquoted this completely, but you might tell a lie or a truth rather than
he
tell a
said it
lie.
right one time exactly, and then he
Yes.
said it incorrectly.
That was like, but yeah, I
I
was
might
in
tell
the
you the truth, but I won't tell you that's not it, babe.
I was like, that's not it, baby. It's okay. This was just your moment. Um, but I completely agree. The fact that he doesn't have one, assuming the tattoo has been there for a while now. And also, she says she owns her own tattoo studio. And I was like, you're telling me he hasn't come up in there and gotten a tattoo yet? Like,
He doesn't have to go to her studio, but I just feel like she got your name tattooed on her neck. The fact that hers wasn't tattooed somewhere on your body within 7 days.
I do appreciate her saying like, I will remove it if I need to. And I
Yeah.
was just like, okay, fair enough. Okay,
I think it's ridiculous that she got it at all, but we
it
are where we are.
I don't, I'm a firm
I
believer in the
also
tattoo curse.
I like I do want to say Theo was talking about moving to the United States real willy nilly, and I had some QTNAs, as Dustin would say, questions that need answered or
Oh.
questions that niggas are asking, and I'm niggas.
Yes, you are niggas. That is true.
Theo, where the hell is your child gonna be?
Oh,
Because last time I checked,
you have a child?
your baby and your baby mama live in the UK. When you come into the States, where's your son going to be? Where's Theo Jr. going to be?
I did not remember he had a child.
Yeah, Theo has a
How
son.
how old is the baby?
I mean, why would I know that? I don't particularly care about
Well,
these things.
I'm asking because like there's a big difference.
Like under 5. Like this baby is post 2020 for sure.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Wait, I think I recall you showing me a picture
But baby is
or somebody
definitely
showing me.
walking. It might be like 5 or 6 years old.
Hmm.
But honestly, I feel like the child is very young. Um, that's all I want to know. Those are the QTNAs. Those are the questions that niggas are asking.
I mean, yikes, jinkies. If you hadn't had a conversation with your baby mama about potentially moving to the United States and she just rocks up on MTV and sees you talking about that,
Well,
that's crazy.
I'm not assuming that. I'm just saying that it wasn't clarified here. Like, and I
Does Olivia want to be a stepmom? Has she met the child?
I would assume so. If they're doing all of this talking and all of this canoodling and shenaniganing, but uh,
Well, I mean, my God, the tattoo behind the ear. This is why I believe in the tattoo curse. Don't do that. Do not get matching tattoos of people by none of it.
um, Devin and Michelle are together. I was really hoping they were over.
I knew they were still going to be together because it
uh,
seemed genuine, which seemed kind of gross.
this is how people always talk about their relationships on here, and then they're always
Okay.
broken up by the reunion. Mm,
Mm. And then
now,
Bananas gives us some information that was news to me about him falling in love with somebody and revenge and all of these things.
yes, yes, yes. I don't know if that's is that when we talk about this here. I think somebody throws something and then they ask a question. So we talk about it
Oh, the
after.
beanbag targets.
Yes,
Yeah.
we talk about it after a commercial break. But yeah, we get into bananas versus everybody. Bananas versus
Valid.
the people versus Johnny Bananas. We the
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 country of
litigation
Vietnam versus Johnny Bananas.
the litigation of the century, I guess. Yes, bananas and Devin kind of go back and forth, and they talk about the further dissolution of their relationship, and then
Mm.
Bananas' fallout with his friend, real life friend Michelle. Now, Bananas
Hmm.
and Devin have always been adversarial on the show. I think in the
Hmm.
last few years, we've seen them kind of grow a mutual respect for each other, it seems, but they've never really been like friends. But
Okay.
according to Devin, Bananas, he had a conversation with Bananas preseason where Bananas was like, "Hey, I'm a reality television superstar at this point in my life. I got a lot of things going that I'm monetizing off of outside of the show. And I'm not trying to be here for 19 episodes. I'm trying to get in, snatch some fans up real quick, get out, get some social media engagement. I got other things to do. I got a podcast to host."
That was interesting to me.
And so Devin was like, "Okay, well, if that's the case, I'm gonna give you 6 weeks," is what he said.
Mm.
And if you're still here after 6 weeks, I'm gonna officially start coming for you, but I'll leave you alone in the early part of the game. I'll
Mm.
stay off your case. And according to Devin, Bananas got upset at that because obviously Devin called his bluff and he was lying and he was not phoning it in on this season. He was, in fact,
Yes.
taking it very seriously and trying to win
Yes.
and was
Hmm.
using that as a play, allegedly.
Hmm.
Um, the Banana Man denies this, but
My
um,
thing is, why would he tell Devin that? Like if it were true.
Why would he tell Devin that? Because he's trying to manipulate Devin. That's Devin's whole story. He wants to
Mm,
manipulate Devin
mm.
into not targeting him during the game. And Devin caught on to his lies. You could smell it on his breath. Um, what do you think of all of this?
Nasty. I mean, I just thought it was kind of interesting where I was like, oh, is that like a thing? And to me, I was kind of more so honestly thinking about the metrics of it, of like how you would like remove yourself from the game, or like orchestrated enough where like you would be sure to go home by a certain point. Like that kind
Yeah,
of
I
tripped
mean,
me up.
you can just not try in an elimination round. Like
True.
you can get last in the daily challenge, and you can make it look like you're trying and that you can make a mistake. Like
Yeah.
you can get last in the daily challenge, and then you can get last in a
Yeah.
or you can lose an elimination. It's not hard to like check out and get sent home without like actually quitting and like publicizing and verbalizing that I'm quitting.
Oh, remember when Laurel quit? One of the best days. Anyway, if anything, I was thinking about the metrics of that, and then I was just thinking about if I was playing the challenge and Bananas told me something like that, I would not think that was true, literally at all. I mean, yes, he does have like multiple ways of like getting like I wouldn't even think about it money wise. I would just be like, you are so competitive. I don't imagine a world where you're just like, I don't want to be here and I'm not going to do this right now. That
Yeah,
I just wouldn't buy it.
yeah, I don't know that I would as strongly be like, oh my god, this is obviously a ploy, but I would cautiously kind of be
Yeah.
mistrusting. I would be
I would just
mistrusting
be
of
like,
that.
that doesn't make any sense. I don't know
I
what
go,
you're doing.
okay,
I'm not even
cool.
trying to figure it out, but that
I'd
don't
be
make
like,
no
okay,
sense.
cool, we'll see. Like we'll see you there. I don't know that it
Yeah. Yeah.
particularly matters. Now, Operation Thought Plot.
I was
Poor
obviously this.
Mariah, she done ran off with that Englishman, and these people will not let her live.
See, I don't have any of the context, so I was just kind of like,
um,
okay.
Mariah was on season 39. That was her first season with
Hmm.
Jonathan Bananas,
Hmm.
Tori Deal, and Devin Wester. I don't know. I don't remember his last name.
Hmm.
But during that season, her and Bananas started up a little romance, and it seemed very serious. Like Bananas has been in a few showmances on this show on this franchise, but it seemed pretty serious. I never know. I don't think that at the time I particularly thought it was, but they were getting real close and real comfy.
Hmm.
But she did verbalize on camera, I think at a later point though, that like he's not her usual type, but there was something about him, and you know, it's just. And if I
Okay.
hadn't been on the show and I hadn't met him, I wouldn't be with him. Now, what they're talking about was
Uh,
never on TV. So apparently they had a conversation. Apparently she may have said that
uh,
to Devin at some point, or Tori, or it got to them at some point during that season. And they told him that, like, hey, she might be using you, brother. And so they tried to set a trap to get her sent home.
mhm.
And then before they could do it, Tori and Devin like said to Bananas, actually, like, no, like we're just playing with you, like, haha, gotcha, which I think is a crazy thing to joke about. Like that's a crazy
Yeah.
prank to play.
It's not
Um
giving prank at all. Exactly.
and so Bananas is essentially accusing Devin of doing the thing that Devin is accusing him of doing with Michelle, which
Okay.
I've always kind of felt like we do not have footage of Bananas saying to Michelle, Devin is using you for game. We have Bananas saying be cautious and
Hmm.
like you never know, and then we have Bananas going, Devin is going to try to drive a wedge between you and I in the game, right? Which could
Yeah.
be interpreted in that way, but he doesn't
Yeah.
say. And when I watched this, I was like, this is a classic Bananas move, which is to sort of like drop something without ever like taking ownership of it, so
Hmm.
that way you have an out, and then you can easier gaslight people that like, no, I never even said anything close to it because I didn't say the exact thing that you're saying that I
Yes.
said.
Yes.
Now I can deny ever, right? Which is what he did. He sort of like let Michelle know that like Devin may or may not like you. I don't really know about that, but he certainly is going to use your relationship and your loyalties to him to try to drive a wedge
Mm.
between the two of
Mm.
us, which
Hmm.
is a slightly different statement than going out and just plainly saying he doesn't like you, he doesn't love you, he's playing you, he's
Yes.
using you in order to get to me. Those
Yes.
aren't one for one the same statement.
Yeah.
But if you're Michelle, Jonathan, like you're 40 years old, like think about it. If you're Michelle and someone who's a
Hmm.
very close friend who known Devin 7 years longer than you have says to
Hmm.
you, "Hey, here's this thing about Devin's character." Are you not gonna like that's exactly what you're gonna hear.
Exactly.
Like Michelle isn't
Exactly.
wrong for like interpreting the
No.
information that he gave her as him saying Devin doesn't like you and he's using you, and then questioning her relationship with Devin, which I think is sort of Devin's big gripe with this. It's like,
Hmm.
yeah, like I was making a little jokey joke about you and Mariah, but like I think also like they're both wrong, but I think in Devin's mind, he's like, well, my relationship is more serious than yours ever would have been. So like it's not the same thing. And I was like, yeah, you kind of did the same thing though, babe.
Yes, I completely agree. There's just enough wiggle room of interpretation where Bananas can like worm his way out of any direct confrontation, but it's also like locked in enough where it doesn't leave Michelle a lot of alternate thoughts to have, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is beautiful gameplay. It just so happens to be about a subject that is also in real life, their
Yeah.
relationship. And so it gets a little bit messy. If it were just purely about gameplay somehow, I don't think it would
Yeah.
necessarily matter as much.
If it wasn't a romantic like relationship, and if Michelle and Devin's history wasn't what it was, which is that they obviously started like canoodling well before
Mm,
this
mm,
season started, right? If it had been someone that she just met that season, like
yeah,
it probably wouldn't even hurt because he can always go, well, how was I supposed to know this was a real thing? Well, this is reality TV. Like, look at all of the examples we have
exactly.
of people falling in love on reality TV. I was
Exactly.
just making an educated guess that this probably wasn't going to work. But I think like what Michelle is reckoning with is like, dang, because this guy had been playing me 4 months before the season even
Yeah.
started. Like,
Yeah.
was I being marinated since then?
Marinated is quite the choice of word. I
Do you
absolutely
play
love
Among
it.
Us? Have you played Among Us?
I oh my God, I haven't played Among Us since the pandemic.
That's why I'm using it.
Okay, fair enough. I think does Amanda chime in here? Or
Yeah,
maybe it was
Amanda's like, this shit's fake. We don't care.
well, Amanda, we love
um,
you.
you know what? I'm I'm with Bananas. I didn't expect them to be together. I didn't know it was real. Like I probably would have ran the same play.
I don't think he's wrong for running the play, as you said. I just think that it kind of rings a little bit differently because they are still together, and it doesn't
Yeah.
seem to just be a showman.
Well, I will say the ending of him and Mariah wasn't like mutual. Like she publicly cheated on him on a show on the very next season with a different man. Uh, so
Oh
like
my
so
God.
like yeah, so it did seem like he very much did like her and then was
Mm.
publicly dumped. I mean, not dumped. She didn't dump him. She just embarrassed him, which, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Whatever. I mean, bananas ain't new to cheating on your significant other on the challenge.
Oh, yikes.
Clock it.
Yikes. Jinkies, Batman.
So yeah, I see it from like his perspective of being like, oh, this is somebody I like, and like maybe he thought this was gonna be like a relationship outside of the
Mm,
show, and then she fell in like with someone else on the very next season, and then and couldn't even contain herself to like wait until after the season to pursue it, like started pursuing it
Lord.
immediately.
Lord.
And we
Okay,
all
okay.
watched, and it was it was kind of funny.
Well, okay. Well, he's clearly hurt and Karen a little bit of a hurtness about that.
Yeah.
He did look handsome during the reunion. I felt very
Jonathan?
unashamed. Yeah.
Really?
I thought he
I
looked
like the
good.
suit a whole lot.
Oh, it's a good suit.
And I thought he was entertaining, but he is always entertaining. So,
Yes.
um, next, era one drama, Aneesa and Rachel.
I kind of it felt like Aneesa was I think I had this feeling earlier in the season. Like it definitely felt like Aneesa was still being targeted. Maybe not like in the exact same way, but it kind of very much felt like Aneesa was being singled out.
I think yes, Aneesa is frequently targeted. This is true.
Okay.
I think Rachel just did a really bad job of managing her real life, like decades long friendship with Aneesa. Um, because
Mm.
she's been gone for a while. She got back into this thing and she just kind of turned into like 21-year-old Rachel and is just like, we're just gonna play the game and I'm gonna
Yeah, I
be the
see that.
Rachel of the past and call the shots and do the things and then kind of put my hands up. And Aneesa made a really good point. And the one thing that I agree with on Aneesa, like I agree with Rachel that Aneesa should have gone in, like not even for any of the reasons Rachel was saying. That was all BS. Aneesa could have should have gone in because Aneesa was the weakest member of the team, and we're trying to win championships here, bruh. Like
Yeah.
you expect me to give up $250,000? No, 400,000. Oh yeah,
At the
200.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, $400,000, like from myself and my kids in order to like, for come on, bro. Like, and I feel like even as
Yeah.
somebody's friend, I would also be like, all right, cool. You got to do what you got to do to protect yourself. I just think Aneesa made a very good point of like, then tell me that you're sending me in because of these reasons, even if it's the lie, because
Agreed.
even if you're just going, I want to keep team cohesion, like I want to maintain a cohesive unit, and I don't want to alienate the men on our team by just pushing very hard for this, and I don't want to alienate Jody, who already feels like she's on the outs with the women on our team.
Hmm.
Like, so I have to send you in, Aneesa, because you were last place, and that's what the boys are doing. Just tell
I
me that.
agree.
Don't say, oh, I don't have any part in this decision. CT is going to make the entire decision. Because the other thing
No.
is, CT and Aneesa's history as well. You know that he's going to send her in anyway. And so your refusal to be involved in the decision is your cosign versus
Yes.
you just being
Agreed.
like, if Rachel would have just verbalized, hey, I don't have much of a choice here by fighting hard to save you, I'm gonna further alienate Jody, who we might need later,
Mhm.
and Brad and Darrell and CT are gonna
Mhm.
mistrust me going forward, and we're definitely gonna need their trust later. And also, you're going in against Katie. Like, girl, I kind of believe you got this, right? Like, you got this.
She almost
Like,
did, yes. I no, I completely agree. I think if there was just better communication around this, it would not have, well, maybe it would have still hurt. I mean, Anissa's entitled to her feelings, but it just was fumbled, or not fumbled, bumbled. Like the entire rollout was bumbled. And I
yeah,
remembered when Rachel was just like, I'm just going to leave this up to CT. And everyone was like, Girl, you're not even trying that hard to
yeah.
make
Just
this any
have a
different.
conversation like Bananas and Tori.
Yes.
I thought
No.
Bananas made a very good point, and it's something that I said at a certain point once we switched to the individual game. I actually
Mm,
thought the undoing of Tori's game was going to be her like singular focus on trying to get Bananas out,
mhm.
because my thought was like, who is he really going to go against? Ryan, Derek, like he's probably going to send these people home, and each time he's going to have an opportunity to put three women in, and he's
Yeah.
not going to pick Aviv, Rachel, and Jenny.
Mm,
And thus, Tori, he's gonna systemically or systematically eliminate all of your female allies, all of the women that are working with you and protecting the men you're working with.
yeah.
And like at a certain point, like you can't win out. Like he's probably gonna have the ability to like put a target on you and you end up
Mhm.
down there. I thought it was gonna be the undoing of Tori's game, and it didn't. But he made a very interesting point, which I think I said this as well too, is that Tori, you're essentially just guaranteeing the toughest final for yourself with the strongest women left in the game other than you. Because like
Yeah, that's fair.
one of the reasons you were aligned with Olivia and Michelle is, let's be real, is because you knew you could beat them. Like if this was a 26-mile like running course or a 26-mile final course with 8 checkpoints over land, Tori probably has the best shot. At least when we're looking at like from at like the women that are in the game around like episode 15, 16 or whatever.
Yeah.
But he made that point as well. Now, obviously that like didn't then he made the point that like Tori screwed herself by leaving these very strong people in, and that Jenny is here because Tori kept coming for him and he kept protecting Jenny, which I just also think that like Jenny really was very good at the
Yes.
very good in the final. I also think I don't know that I buy that she would have been eliminated this season if she had gone into one or two more eliminations, unless it
I
was
mean, they
like,
edited it in such a way where we were constantly freaked out about Jenny's asthma and like that she
mm-hmm.
was like so weak and all of these things, which obviously lended itself to the overall narrative of her winning from like the production standpoint. But she does pretty well in most things over the course of the
I mean, Jenny
season.
is very, very formidable as a challenger. Like
Yeah.
she has two appearances and one win. She's 50%
Yeah.
in finals on this show. She's only been eliminated one time in her 3 seasons, and she's
Mhm.
had deep runs in every single one of them, and
Yeah.
multiple elimination wins in every single one of them. So I don't think I ever. This is legitimately why I was like I didn't buy it from that Aneesa elimination with Aneesa. I was like I don't buy that Jenny is just so out of shape that she's like
Yep.
breathing like the girl like lives in a gym like.
Yes. And then we learn about the asthma, or at least are reminded of the asthma, and it makes a lot more sense.
um do you have any other thoughts here on bananas, Tori?
No, I mean just that Tori says like deep down in my core, like I love you, and it's not in these words, but it's all water under the bridge, basically. Which I
Yeah,
feel like she thinks that, but I have a feeling Bananas is still lurking in the back of his head.
I hope that their relationship does not get repaired, because I think it makes the show much more interesting when they are adversarial, just because I just don't like watching seasons where all of the power players are grouped,
Mm,
um, and then just systematically pick off the rookies and then the people with the fewer connections and then the people on the outside of
yeah.
them, like just slowly but surely, and into the point where we get down to the last like 7 episodes, finally one of them goes into an elimination round. It's just so boring.
I
Like,
don't think Bananas is actually like I think he's being truthful in that he doesn't kind of like stew over things between seasons, but I have no doubt in my head that he's still lurking for Tori
no,
in
no,
the
no.
back of his
I
head.
think he's definitely gonna align with her like in a future season if she's so
Hmm.
inclined. Like I think he's gonna protect her. I think like he doesn't he's not gonna be like trying to throw her in the first episode on the next time that they
Oh
play.
no, I don't think that, but I think that if given like the opportunity, he's
It
gonna
would
he
have to be a
he's
very
gonna
specific circumstance. I think
yeah.
it would have to be like he has active protection from somebody else like in the game who's like it would
Mm.
have to be very specific because
Are they considered
Bananas plays a long game.
by the
Hmm?
definition of rivals on the show, are they considered rivals?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, they
I
would.
was wondering that. Okay.
We gonna talk about the definition of a rival on this damn show.
I'm excited. I'm so excited to do all of that with you.
He does pull his toes out again and starts clicking.
And Maria Menounos, it puts a very firm hand down. If you flick that shit over here, I'll kill you. And I was like, that's
Well, she
valid.
put a lot of distance between them at first.
She she does get up and distinctly move to the other side of the stage. And I don't blame her because if you're clipping a nail, it flies anywhere.
That's so crazy.
Yes.
Now Cara Maria and Laurel.
Yes. I loved Cara's hair. I loved this like multicolored hair.
Uh-huh.
Obviously I don't have all of the context, even though you've shown me quite a bit of you've shown and explained a
I think
lot
you
of
have enough for this for what we talk about
I
here on the
just
reunion.
all I could think about because they were the last people to go before the reunion or this half the reunion was over, um, was that again, word on the street is that the argument between Cara and Laurel in the pantry was a lot more content heavy than we saw. And
Mm-hmm.
then we do actually see Laurel getting physically dragged away by production or bodyguards or whatever they call them. Um, and I something about the way that she was like, I just know her history and I wish her peace and healing made me so uncomfortable. It didn't even make me angry. It just made me really uncomfortable.
Yeah. I don't know that it made me as uncomfortable. I rolled my eyes heavily at that. It just, I don't know that it made me uncomfortable because I think there was anything coded in there, other than like what everybody, like, I don't think Laurel was like hiding a dig in that. Laurel tends to
I
stay,
know I don't think Laura was hiding a dig in it at all. I just was kind of like I feel like this isn't our business. Like the it just felt weird.
well, it is kind of everybody knows. Like,
No, fair
it's not
enough.
a secret at all.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I mean. Like, I don't think Laurel is like like covertly like, sending a message. I don't know. I think
I just didn't like it.
I don't have like strong dislike for Laurel. I never really have. Like she really does annoy me. But I think it's just because Laurel is like has like a lot of drive. I can see why Laurel and Cara clash a lot because their personalities really are quite different, even though that their stories to this point has been so closely aligned with
Yeah,
each other's on this show. And I think like they both kind of resent that. Like that was very clear to me
that
at
was
this point
clear.
because I do think they don't really have a lot of like love or respect for each other anymore, and they resent how tightly like how tight their narrative tends to be, and they both
Absolutely. I
set
mean,
the
Cara says it completely like, we're not sisters. I want to get off this
well.
train. Like,
I'm
I
actually
don't.
thinking about what Laurel said. She
Oh,
said, I don't have fun when I do seasons with Cara. Like I loved coming back and doing a season without Cara. The one
hmm
season that I did Ride or Dies where Cara wasn't there. I love that because I just don't enjoy the show when I'm on the show with Cara.
yeah.
And like it was the first time that I thought about it because they've both made that same commentary before. Like they have like Car has actually said the opposite, where she's like, whenever Laurel is on the show, it's like significantly like more difficult for me to be there. And Laurel has said it like, I just like it better when she's not here. So Car
Yeah.
says I hate it when she's here, and Laurel says I love it when she isn't here. So they've both said
Same
that like
message.
multiple
Yeah.
times in the past. But I've never like quite under I don't think I've quite understood it because I was like, oh, y'all hate it because y'all just hate each other. No, I think they hate it because the production really does
Agreed.
like really does force that narrative of like these because it is one of the richest storylines in the history of this show,
Yes. I mean,
and
from the production standpoint, it is good,
it
right?
is
Like,
a well that never runs dry. Like
period. Yes,
unfortunately for the
exactly.
pair of them, because like they and also neither of them can really just kind of like exist and ignore the other and be entirely apathetic towards the other for the
See,
entirety of a season. Like sooner or later they're either going to mend their relationship, which is what always happens. Like when they're on a season together, they come in hating each other, then they partner up, then they mend it for at least that time, and then they're beefing by the reunion, or they have a blow up or whatever, and they're beefing at the reunion, and they're like, oh, it's okay, we've talked. Like they are
yeah.
really like up and down, so they really
Yeah.
do drive some of it as well. But I totally understood, and I said it when we watched their fight scene. It's like I really don't want to see them on seasons together anymore. Like for a
Yes.
very very long time, I was like, oh my god, like we have to have both of them on a season because like duh, like they're like 1A and 1B right now for women on the show, and they
Mm,
have all of this history together. Of course, I want to see them fighting it out for a championship,
mm.
but it just their fights get so nasty. Like Laurel, like that's my biggest thing with Laurel. Like Laurel cannot temper her reaction
I
to
think
like
that's exactly
the
what we talked
appropriate
about that
to their
episode. Yeah.
appropriate level for whatever like Cara Maria can make a minor, well, not even just Cara, anybody really can have like the most minor like transgression against Laurel, and she's talking about yo mama, yo dog, yo like
I mean, we get a
everything.
little bit of context that I was grateful for when Cara clears it up and she's like, no, like me and Michelle were in the because we at least my interpretation was that like they
Mm-hmm.
kind of interrupt Laurel, at least the way the edit looked like
So
to me. But
I
then we
I
find out that Laurel comes out, swinging out of
I'm
nowhere.
I'm still gonna maintain that like this issue happened because of Carter. Like, and that doesn't forgive or excuse anything that Laurel did or said to her. Like
Hmm
once like tensions escalated, but like from the show, it's very clear. Cara and Michelle are having a conversation, and like even when I mean Laurel and Michelle, even when Cara talks about it, Cara's like, "Oh, I heard Michelle crying and asking these sort of things," and it really, or Michelle said it as well too. It
hmm
really like made me think about this. I don't really care. Michelle is an adult woman. Like if she can't stand up for herself, like Laurel is being rude to Michelle, Laurel is being mean, Laurel is being dismissive or whatever.
hmm
Sure. Like these are two grown women
That's fair.
discussing like they're like Cara is not needed in that scenario specifically to come to Michelle's rescue and I'll be your friend and hug her and like just how performative that really was. And it was very clear like it was a way to take a shot at Laurel, and you're
Of
doing
course
it
it
like
was.
in her face as well too. Like, yeah, if she pop off, she pop off. Now, like what to your point of what she said is like we're having if you just did that to me, I'm already on your ass. Like, and then you want to go off. I don't care that you're in the other room. Like, this is a whole
Yeah.
freaking open concept mansion. I can hear you. I can hear you sitting down there talking about me. Yo, what's going on? Because you're I'm already on your head for what you just did. Laura
Yeah.
let it slide respectfully, like let it slide, but then y'all gonna walk 15 feet away. Like you saw that freaking mansion.
Yeah.
Being in the kitchen is not like being a world apart. Like being
No.
in the kitchen and somebody sitting in the living room, I can see and hear you talking about me. I'm only gonna ignore the commentary for so long,
Yeah.
especially depending on what the commentary is. Like
Yeah.
it's I'm only gonna like turn a blind ear to it until I come and check in. Like, hey, like what are we talking about? Because I thought
Yes.
I just had a conversation with Michelle. I thought that conversation was over, and now
Yeah.
y'all are just sitting here in broad day talking about me.
And then to your point of tempering her reaction,
Yeah,
Laurel does not hit the right tone. She
yeah,
just immediately goes to 1000. Well, not I don't know about the time, but she very quickly gets to 1000.
yeah. I think it's
Yeah.
clear that like she goes and she confronts them. They say what they're gonna say, and then she walks off, and then they come and find her in the pantry as well too. Which at that point, like Laurel, you're also an adult. Like
Yeah.
I also like this is on MTV too. Like this is on the people filming the show and the production team that's on
It
site.
is. Of
Like
course it is.
I think as soon as Cara and Laurel are standing chin to chin, somebody got to step and be like, "Hey, y'all, I'm just gonna, we do love it when y'all do this. We got enough footage. Y'all go ahead and y'all go ahead and
And break it
separate,
up.
break it up now. Like
Yeah.
it's over with. We got
No.
enough footage. We can make a lot happen with this right here. Y'all don't need to y'all don't need
Instead,
to
we
say
get
anything.
Laurel getting physically dragged away like a rabid
I think
dog.
I mean I think Laura was just yelling and she was being pulled because she was yelling at Cara. Like
Mm.
I I
I
just
just
think
don't
that
like it.
like the argument wouldn't stop unless one or both of them were removed from each other's vicinity.
No, no. I just don't
No,
like it. Like you said, it is, at least for me, it just is uncomfortable at this point in time. Like even
I I
without,
I, I
yeah.
actually never want to see them. I don't even never ever want to see them have a conversation ever again,
I think
let
that's
alone like
fair.
anything else. It really is like uncomfortable to watch. Like
It is, exactly.
and like they're like even on the stage when they were talking about it, I was just looking like Jordan is just literally like looking at the floor. Naya's body is totally turned away and she's like looking out at the side of her eye. Like everybody is uncomfortable. Like
Yeah.
nobody on that stage is like good point, good point. Like
No,
everyone is
everyone's like, please get this over
everyone
with.
is still, I think, like Theo had his arms crossed and he was literally just sitting like staring straight ahead, arms
Mhm.
crossed, like, and it had nothing to do with him. Nobody is comfortable with it.
No,
And I thought
because
what was really interesting too is that nobody had commentary to add to it, like which like nobody was like wanted to like speak up and go, oh, like yeah, they do have a this and this. Like nobody had anything. They were like, can we just move on now? Like,
well, thank you for watching the episode.
thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week for part 2 of the reunion.
Love you, mean it. Bye bye.
Bye.